Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and in today's video we're going to be hanging out right here, Newnan, Georgia. Let's get into it. Alright guys, if this is your first time here on the channel, welcome. My name is Raymond and I am a real estate broker here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I help clients relocate to the Atlanta metropolitan area by way of purchasing a home, or I help clients here in Georgia sell their home to relocate outside the state, as well as move about the area currently if you're already here. So all of my contact information will be in the description below. Feel free to reach out to me, and yeah, we can get into it. Also, be sure to schedule your consultation as well, because we will sit down and talk about 30 to 45 minutes about your unique situation so we can make sure we're on the same page. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Newnan, Georgia. That's where I'm going to be filming today, bringing you some pros and cons and showing you around the downtown square. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, what did you think about Newnan Downtown Square? Go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. Also, if you made it this far, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so that you can become a part of my YouTube family. This channel is dedicated, showing you around the Atlanta metropolitan area, all of the suburbs, everything that the area has to offer. So we are gonna go ahead and start talking about the pros and cons of living here in Newnan, Georgia. Before we do that, I do want to give you some stats and kind of give you some things about Newnan, Georgia before we start talking about the good and the bad. As you see my background, I'm walking through Greenville Park now here in downtown Newnan, which is a little bit more on the south side of downtown, but it is their downtown park. Really nice greenery. So yeah, that's where I'm walking, just in case you're wondering. Wow, it's a nice park. So Newnan, Georgia is located about 40 miles south of downtown Atlanta, about 38.7 to be exact. It is definitely one of those well-known suburbs south of the metro area. It's about 28 miles south of the Atlanta airport. So if you're doing airport commuting often, you definitely want to take that into consideration, because it is not super close to the airport at all, even though it is on the south side of Atlanta. The population here in Newnan, Georgia is 48,000 residents and counting. Newnan has a positive growth rate of about 3.8% year over year. So people are moving to Newnan, Georgia. Has been one of those areas to continue to see growth over the last decade, which we're going to talk about in the pros and cons section of the video today. The median household income here in Newnan, Georgia is about $80,000. The median age is 35 years old. And the ownership versus rent ratio is as follows. 55.9% of the residents own their property, and 44.1% of the residents rent their properties here in Newnan. And finally, the median home listing price here in Newnan, Georgia is roughly about $385,000, which is roughly on par with the Atlanta metropolitan average. A few more stats to include schools and interstate access is as follows. The public school system here for the city of Newnan is going to be Coweta County Public Schools, and the interstate access is going to be Interstate 85. All right, so those are your quick stats about Newnan. And so let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons of living here in Newnan. I will say today it is hot outside, roughly probably about 90 degrees here in Newnan, I should say. I almost said Atlanta, but we are not in Atlanta, we are in Newnan. The first pro of living here in Newnan, Georgia is going to be the growth economically. As I said in the opening, Newnan is a city that is growing and that has grown so much over the last 20 years. And so that is a positive attribute for the city. It is continuing to see growth, especially economically. One of the things I think that really helps Newnan is the fact that it is close to a lot of cities as well. So you have Peachtree City next door, you have Fairburn up north, you have Tyrone, which is a smaller city to the south, and you have Sonora. So you have so many small areas that allowed Newnan to tap into, and a lot of that economy to spill over into Newnan. So economically, Newnan is a prosperous city. It is a city with a lot of growth and a lot of prosperity for its future. All right, pro number 2 is going to be the fact that Newnan, Georgia, when it comes to shopping and entertainment, it is pretty independent. You do not have to leave the city limits of Newnan to do basic shopping, even clothing and shoes and household goods, etc. You can do all of that in the city limits of Newnan pretty robustly, and as well as entertainment and dining. Okay, so if you're looking for a suburb that has that autonomy on its own, I think Newnan, Georgia holds its own. Pro number 3 is going to be the real estate affordability. Newnan, Georgia is one of those cities that is pretty popular for its affordability. I will say Newnan, Georgia is probably in the bottom 10 percentile or 20 percentile when it comes to affordability, because it is affordable, but it is not the most affordable. For what it is, you definitely get a lot more acreage, especially in the outskirts of Newnan. You'll see more real estate value proposition by way of square footage and acreage. So I will still say that that is a pro. The final pro on my list is going to be the fact that the public school system here is pretty good. Coweta County Public Schools is the public school district, and they are pretty good. Statistically speaking, based on their performance metrics, they are outperforming the state, and they have a pretty satisfactory graduation rate as it relates to the high school department. I'm going to give you the top 3 schools in the county per grade level, starting with elementary school. So the top elementary school for Coweta County Public is going to be Brooks Elementary. For the middle school, it's going to be Lee Middle. And for the high school, it's going to be Northgate High. So those are the top 3, schools in their categories for the county. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the cons of living here in Newnan, Georgia. The first con, in my opinion, is going to be just commuting if you are going to be commuting to Atlanta. I will caution you right now, if you're going to be commuting into Atlanta every single day, okay, either into the city of Atlanta or north of Atlanta, pack your patience. You're going to be in for about an hour and 15 to about an hour and a half commute north every single day, 2 times, in the morning and in the evening. So I would definitely caution, if you're going to be commuting into Atlanta, you may want to look at suburbs, maybe a little bit closer north, like Fairburn or Union City, or even South Fulton. So, because again, that traffic going north from Newnan can get very intense every single day. However, if you are going to be commuting kind of from Newnan up to, say, Fairburn, or in the southern metropolitan area, up the 85 corridor, then I think your commute would be pretty good. Also, if you're going to be working from home, definitely good place to look, especially if you are looking for real estate value and land space, okay? But if you're going to be commuting on the weekends as well up to Atlanta, it is doable, but again, you have to pack your patience on those weekend days, because obviously a lot of movement happens on the weekends as well, so just kind of keep that in mind. But all in all, just commuting in itself can be a little stressful, so definitely go to Google Maps, and you can even do the arrive by kind of forecasting the timelines, so you can get a better depiction as to how long it's going to take you to get to where you need to go. All right, con number 2 is going to be the final con. There's only 2 cons, in my opinion, of living in Newnan. This one is going to be the fact that Newnan, Georgia has had a lot of growth, right? Well, let me just tell you what it is. Small town issues, small town drama when it comes to the direction of society, okay? I'm going to be very gentle, and I'm going to try not to step on too many toes in this section. Just to kind of give you, I guess, a disclaimer. But what I mean by this is that over the last 5 years, Newnan, Georgia has found itself in a lot of controversy when it comes to just progression in ways of equality, diversity. So for some strange reason, over the last 5 years, Newnan has always found itself in this situation. So just kind of, for me, I think it is a negative attribute of the city. When you look at the history of Newnan, Newnan has such a robust history. There's a lot there. So definitely do your research on the history of the city. But over the last 20 years, this city has grown, and so many, it's been such an influx of different type of personalities, different racial makeups, different interests amongst the residents. So with that being said, you have a lot of small town drama that is still being worked out here in Newnan. So if you're looking for a city that has already ironed out those kinks and on their course, Newnan may not be for you. But if you're okay with the reality of a growing and small but yet prosperous and growing suburb that has some work to do, that has a little bit of history, then Newnan definitely should stay on your list, and you should investigate further. At the end of the day, this video is just to give you a prelude to my opinions about Newnan. Definitely just use this as a preamble to your research, and definitely continue that research to seek out more information about Newnan. Also, I will link an interesting article regarding what this con, and so you can kind of read up on it more on your own. At the end of the day, I do think Newnan is a great place to consider, and I do think that it has a lot of unique charm and character about itself. It is definitely aesthetically a really nice city to visit as well as to see. So that's gonna do things here. It's gonna wrap up things here. Thank you for watching the video. Feel free to hit that like button if you enjoyed or received any information from this video. Also, hit that subscribe button to become a part of the YouTube family. I have over 7, 8, 9, 10 of these type of videos in different suburbs here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. So feel free to go and explore the channel. Maybe you'll learn something about another suburb that may be on your list as well. So thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.